What's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to talk about how you can win more bids. All right, guys, Billy Davidson here. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Give us a like before you leave. That really helps us out a lot. This video has been helpful. We definitely appreciate it. In this video, we're going to talk about how you can win more bids. Now, I talk to guys all over the country, whether they're in the pressure washing business, the parking lot striping business. We even have landscapers that watch the channel, construction workers, roofers, you name it. They've all come to us for help in the past, and I want to teach you how you can win more bids out there when estimating some of your projects. Now, if you're one of these people out there that's bid 10, 15, 20 jobs, and you're really not getting a response of 20 to the 30% approval rate, a lot of times it is in the estimate that you provide to your customer. I tell guys all the time, it is won or lost in the estimate that you provide for your customer. And we're going to go over a few tactics and techniques that I use to land more jobs than we can actually handle. A big mistake that I see out there with guys estimating commercial projects, whether it is pressure washing, parking lot striping, seal coating, roofing work, painters, is they want to develop a relationship with the property manager. And look, there's nothing wrong with being friendly and developing some type of relationship with a property manager, but oftentimes that relationship you develop with that property manager doesn't equate into getting more approvals, and we're going to go into a few reasons. So let's take a hypothetical situation here. Let's say you get a call from an apartment complex. Maybe it is a bank, maybe it is a shopping center, and you speak to the property manager and set up a date and a schedule to go out and meet with this person and walk the property with that person. Now, that being said, you do need to be professional and friendly, but a lot of people believe that developing a personal relationship with this property manager is going to lead them into getting more jobs, and that is not always the case, and this is the reason why. Oftentimes, when you provide an estimate to a property manager or someone that's overseeing the estimate process, many times your bid that you provide them doesn't stay with them. They're not the decision maker. Oftentimes this bid or estimate is forwarded on over to corporate, or either a general manager or even a regional manager, someone that is a decision maker, and they don't know how friendly you were in person. They don't know how professional you were in person. They didn't get to feel your personality. All they have to go on is the estimate that you provide. And many times I see these guys out there providing estimates that is just way too complicated, with so much legal things in it, where the estimate's 5, 6, 7, 8 pages long, even for a job that's only a few $1,000s. Now, that being said, we do want to cover ourselves legally, but that would be in the contract that we're going to provide whenever we do get the approval for the job, not during the estimate process. Your estimate should be most only 1 or 2 pages in length, simple to read, simple to digest. Many times, if this estimate gets forwarded over to some decision maker that's in corporate, maybe even perhaps a different state in most cases, all they have to go on is the estimate that you provide. Again, they don't know who you are, who your personality is, and how professional you are. They don't know how well your uniforms look and how clean your truck was. They don't get to see any of that. The only thing they get to see is your estimate. And many times, these decision makers are over dozens of properties. So with that being said, they're probably getting dozen or 2 dozen worth of estimates a week that they got to read through, approve it, they got to digest it, they got to figure it out, it's got to be understandable to them in simple terms. These people are really busy, they have their personal life. Just think about this. So they don't get to see who you are, what you look like, how well your uniform is plastered out. They don't get to see your wrap on your truck or anything like that. The only person that really gets to see that is the property manager. There's usually not a box to check for the property manager to check off. This guy was nice. This guy was professional. I recommend this crew. His truck was wrapped nicely. There's no box thing that they send over to corporate to get you approved. All they're going to send is the estimate that you provide. Now, if this estimate is too complicated for them to read and to digest. Once it gets to corporate, many times these decision makers are going to brief it and throw it out. If it's 5 or 6 pages long and has a ton of legal jargon in it, they don't have time for that. They want to look at your estimate 1 or 2 pages in length at most. Many times I keep it only 1 page in length. Even a complicated estimate, you have to find a way to distill this down to 1 or 2 pages. Again, we're not going to put a bunch of legal disclaimers in there on our estimate. That will be on our contract later on after the job is approved and maybe during the deposit part of it, that sort of thing. So keep it really simple, 1 or 2 pages in length. The verbiage is also really important. You need to be clear and concise on what you're going to provide this potential customer and for how much. Another problem I see with guys doing with estimates, and I've looked at many estimates over the years training people, is they want to put the total price really tiny way down at the bottom. Usually mine is about halfway, big bold letters, the total price that I'm going to charge them and what I'm going to do. I have gotten estimates before for work that I've done, and the first thing I'm looking for is the number. Once I see the number, if it makes sense, then I go back and reread the estimate in full. So don't put your number small. That tells a lot about you. If you put your number real tiny down at the bottom hidden on your estimate, you can put that first thing if you want, so make sure it's clear and concise and easy to find on your estimate. Another mistake I see with guys doing estimates is putting too much information in the estimate about their company. If you're looking for some sample contracts and sample estimate sheets to provide for your customer, we do have some of those within our All Pro parking lot striping course. We also have some in our commercial cleaning course for pressure washing and also in our dumpster pad course. You can look at some of these estimates the way we do it in the real world, in the real scenarios every day, 7 days a week. We do this, been doing it for 28 years. It's really simple if you need to look at some of that. I've recently trained a guy with our All Pro parking lot striping course that was actually in the business for several years, and he reached a plateau. Now, he knew the mechanics of striping parking lots. He knew his equipment, but he really wasn't aware of how to upsell these customers, how to develop estimates for and develop that ongoing professional relationship with these companies to get repeat customers. So if you need some help providing estimates for your customers or learning this industry, please check out the description below. There'll be a link to my website where we have many training courses that could be very helpful to you, the potential customer. Again, don't put too much personal information on this estimate about your company. One example of putting too much information in your estimate is giving a detailed breakdown of exactly what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, what equipment you're going to use, and how many people you're going to have on the job. That is just too much information. That can be later saved on for the contract portion of the job whenever you get the approval to start the work. Speaking of deposits, you want to put that in your initial estimate, in that 1 or 2 page estimate that you're providing initially. If you require a deposit, and many times we do, anything over $10,000, we want to at least get a 25% upfront deposit if possible. You want that to be in your 1 or 2 page estimate. Also, if you have a net 15 or a net 30, that will also be in your estimate. You don't want to put a start date in your estimate, or either you don't want to dictate exactly how many days it's going to take you to do the project. So just to recap a little, whenever you're doing your estimates, you want to keep them very simple, 1 or 2 pages at most in length. And again, this is all the decision maker gets to see about you and your company. They didn't probably get to meet you on the project site. They didn't get to see your pretty uniforms or your perfectly wrapped vehicle. This is all they get to see. So make sure this 1 or 2 page estimate that you're providing to this property manager, know that it is going to probably be forwarded to someone in corporate, someone possibly even out of state that knows nothing about you or your company. And many times they don't know much about the property that they're managing. Oftentimes they've never even visited this property, and that is actually the job of the property manager, to be their eyes and ears on the ground. So putting really small details in your estimate could just complicate the estimate and get it thrown out. Well, guys, anyway, I'm Billy Davidson here with Davidson Pressure Washing and Painting, BillyDavidsonVIP.com. If this has been helpful, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.